DDlg podcaster. What is DDlg? What does it stand for? DDlg is an acronym for Daddy Dumb Little Girl, a relationship where the dominant male is the daddy figure and a woman, a grown woman, an adult woman, plays the role of a little girl. Littles can be of any age that they want to be. They have to be overage. They have to be legally old enough to have an adult relationship. And that is very important because otherwise people will think that DDlg is about incest play, which is a thing and can be a thing in your DDlg relationship. But DDlg is pretty much anything you want it to be because it is two consenting adults having the relationship that makes them happy. And that is what we find most fulfilling about DDlg. Daddy doms are adults and they're part of the dominant slash on DS, which is dominant submissive. And DS is a well-known faction of BDSM, which also is an acronym. An acronym is an abbreviation formed from the initial letters of the words, and BDSM is an acronym. The B usually stands for bondage. The D usually stands for discipline or dominance. And the S is usually standing for submissives. And M is for masochism, where we can get the SM to mean sadomasochism. So in BDSM, you have your DS, which is your group of all different types of dominance and daddy doms, and your S's, which are all different types of submissives, which are your littles. And littles can also be your adult baby diaper lovers. And you can be toddlers, not real life toddlers. You have to be overage. All of this is for consenting adults who are of adult age. As mentioned previously, sometimes people can do what is known as kink shaming, or basically it's uneducated or uninformed about what particularly BDSM or kink relationships or daddy dom little girl, what it can look like, and then they just confuse it with other illegal activities, such as, the P word, which nobody likes that to get confused with that. And really, it's just using the words baby, and, people use the word babe all the time. So what you don't want to do is, it's called another acronym, which I forget what it is now, so we'll have to make another video about that. But it's basically like your kink is okay, even if it's not my kink. And so all sorts of kinky things are allowed, perfectly acceptable in the BDSM community, which is what the DDlg community is a part of. Essentially, it's a smaller part of the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is BDSM. That's the bigger umbrella term. And I suppose the bigger umbrella term to BDSM is kink in general, anything kinky. That's the biggest group, and then we're in probably a minority of that group. Well, we're little, so maybe we're like the littlest group, pun intended. And littles can be they're adults, but they can be middles, or they can be like teens, and middles I suppose are like teens. It's very like, you can't do your own thing wrong and how you define it, and people define themselves all different ways, which is why the DS, which can even be top or bottom, and you can also top from the bottom. So we'll talk about lots of different things and lots of different play, because everything is essentially all different play. And Daddy Dom, Little Girl is how we play in our relationship, or the basic dynamic. Dynamic will be a big word that we use. So DDlg is a Daddy Dom Little Girl dynamic, and it is part of Caregiver Little, which is the umbrella for that's the umbrella. There's lots of umbrellas. It's like raining a lot. There's lots of umbrellas. Caregiver Little is for anybody who is a caregiver and a little. So that could be of any gender combination. You could have your mommy doms, your little boys, your baby diapers with the mommy dom. A caregiver little is the D person, the dominant is the caregiver, and they could be any person that's the caregiver, and any person who is the little, male, female, any person, and that's the caregiver little dynamic. Daddy Dom Little Girl is specifically usually the male daddy and the little girl being girl, but people could call themselves that and be any person. So it's really about, you can't do your own thing wrong, because you're doing you and you're doing your own thing and you're doing your relationship. Oh yeah, so I remember it's YKINMK. Your kink is not my kink. And yeah, so that's like a thing. YKINMK, that's what you can say, but pretty much I forget all those letters. I don't even say it actually. Like, why do you even need to say it? But if you want to remember the acronym and the philosophy and ethics and morale behind the culture of the community and probably the world, if you whatever your thoughts are about it, well, the acronym is NMK, and it just means not my kink, not for me. And also, you don't have to be in a relationship to be a daddy dom or to be a little girl, of course, because like little girls exist in the world before they have, before a relationship, and daddies, doms exist in the world. Like, it's not, your personality isn't dependent on another person, and your preferences aren't dependent on another person. It's just that your preference for a relationship with the other person, that's where the dynamic preference. DDlg is a dynamic preference and a lifestyle and a kink, and it is all those things, and it is what a relationship is, and also you can define yourself that way just by being yourself. All of these things really are a way of like knowing yourself, describing yourself, figuring out what you like, what you don't like, and pretty much it indicates to a whole group of people who already know what they like, and then you can associate with that. They like it, and then, oh, you like it too. Well, it's called DDlg, and there's already lots of people who are into that. So the whole idea of these groups and the like public knowledge of these acronyms and groups means that people don't have to feel alone or isolated or cut off from anything or too different from anything, even if you feel that it is different, maybe it is a minority or different or not, because it's becoming very popular because of all the benefits that it has with the nurturing, the caregiving. The acceptance, the affection, the commitment often goes with monogamy because DDlg, like Daddy Dom, especially for like the little girl wants commitment, monogamy usually, or it can just be a kinky role play. Like lots of these things can just be a play. They can be a role play with a play partner, or it can be a relationship. And just like DS, it can be like just in the bedroom, or it can be a whole lifestyle 24/7. So that goes for like a lot of things in the lifestyle. They can be lifestylers, they can be people who live the lifestyle 24/7 or a lot of their time, or it can be just a thing that they're into either in the bedroom or on the weekend. La 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 la.